What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to share a personal gem of mine, and this is Naval Ravikant. He's a modern day philosopher and angel investor in the US tech space. He's also a CEO of AngelList, another site that links angel investors with startups and other businesses. But that's not the main reason for this video. This video is where Naval is talking about happiness being peace in motion. And I like this particular take more because he relates physics, or what's on the physical, to the social and emotional, and it was a very good take for me to understand that life is just universal. Whatever happens on the physical space is the same in the social and emotional space. It's really nice to see someone put so much consistency in life in general. I don't know if that makes sense, but he'll explain better, so let's get to it.
Life, on the other hand, is more hectic in other ways. The sources of stress that we have are more chronic. Let's define stress for a moment. Physically, stress is when something wants to be in two places at one time. If I take an iron beam and apply pressure to both ends in different directions, I'm creating stress in the beam because one part wants to be north, the other part wants to be south. I create stress on the beam. In a person, stress is when you can't decide what's important. It's an inability to decide what is more important. So then you want two things at once that are mutually incompatible. I want to relax right now, but I need to get some work done. I'm under stress. I need to go to that party, but I also need to go to work. But when you truly give up on something, it's actually no longer stressful. When you accept that something is completely out of your control, there's no point in being stressed about it. So it does imply that you have some level of control over it. The mind is constantly creating stress for you through situations where it's being more paranoid or more angry than is actually warranted for your environment.
So from what I understand is from the physical sense of it, if you have like a pen and you apply pressure here and you apply pressure from this side, then you're definitely going to have stress. And if you also apply pressure from this side and this side, more stress on the pen. So socially or emotionally, if you are torn between so many things and you'd like to do all of them at the same time, that's usually the cause of stress. If you can't put control on what your mind is suggesting to be the best thing to do or concentrate on at the moment.
We want to find peace from mind. We want to have tools that allow us to not turn off the brain mind, because you can't suppress the mind. If I say to you, don't think of a white elephant, you just thought of a white elephant. So you can't force the mind into anything. But where the mind on its own calms down and naturally goes away. And how do you do that? How do you end up with a more peaceful mind? Because a more peaceful mind automatically creates a happier person.
Yeah, tell me how you end up with a peaceful mind, please.
Phrase I liked is that peace is happiness at rest, happiness is peace in motion. A peaceful person doing an activity will end up happy doing that activity. A happy person just sitting there will be peaceful. So the goal actually is not happiness, even though we'll use that term a lot. The goal is actually peace. So the question is, how do you get to peace? The first problem with getting to peace is that no activity will get you to peace, because peace is fundamentally inactivity. Peace is the sense that everything is fine. And if everything is fine, you're not making physical activity to change it, so you're physically at peace.
So happiness is peace in motion. And peace in itself is the feeling that everything is fine. And you extrapolate that alongside time, then you have happiness. So if you're fine with everything as it is in this moment, and the next moment, and the next moment, that's happiness.
And you're not making mental activity to try and change it all the time either, or not wishing you were, because that'll create mental stress, because you'll want to mentally be somewhere other than you actually are. So peace itself is not a thing that can be directly achieved. You cannot work towards peace. What you can work towards is understanding. I think this is an old religious saying, but it says the name of God is truth. And what that's basically saying is that when you understand certain things, when you learn certain things, when you're convinced of certain things, and when they become a deep part of you, then you naturally become a more peaceful person.
So that's almost the end of that video. But then what I'd like to add is that I think what he's fundamentally talking about is you just have to be in the moment, because life happens in the moment. If you're fine with everything that is happening right now, then you are essentially at peace. And if you're at peace right now, and in the next second, and in the next minute, in the next hour, the next day, then you're going to maintain a good state of relative happiness. Even if you have desires or things that you want to chase, as long as they're not what you're doing in the moment, you should be fine not thinking about them in the moment. Concentrate on what's in front of you at the moment. So living in the moment is peace, and happiness is peace in motion. That's what I learned from Naval. There's so many things he is talking about in his channel, and I'll be sharing those as well. Let me know if you like this type of videos, and I'll do more of them. Take care.